America could be standing on the edge of the biggest financial reset in modern history. Not just another recession, not just a market dip, but something much deeper. Legendary investor Ray Dalio has studied the rise and fall of the world's greatest empires for over 50 years, and his warning is clear. What's coming for the United States may feel less like a slowdown and more like a financial heart attack. Now think about it. Sky-high government debt, rising prices at the grocery store, political division tearing communities apart, and global powers, like China and Russia, quietly challenging America's dominance. Put those pieces together, and you begin to see why Dalio believes the U.S. is at a critical turning point. This isn't fear-mongering, it's reality. The same patterns that brought down past empires, the Dutch, the British, even Rome, are showing up here, at home. And if history repeats itself, we could be facing a once-in-a-generation reset, one that reshapes our money, our markets, and our everyday lives. But here's the good news. Understanding the storm before it hits means you don't have to be crushed by it. In fact, with the right strategy, you could come out stronger, safer, and even wealthier. So, let's break it down. What's really happening beneath the surface of the U.S. economy? Why are experts raising alarms? And most importantly, how can you prepare before it's too late? History has a rhythm, a cycle that repeats itself over and over again. Ray Dalio calls it the big cycle, and when you look closely, it's almost scary how predictable it is. Every great empire, every world power goes through the same stages. First comes strength, new leadership, innovation, prosperity, and a powerful currency that the world trusts. Trade booms, living standards rise, and people believe the system will last forever. But then, expansion turns into excess. Governments borrow more money, debt piles up, and inequality starts to grow. The rich keep getting richer. The middle class feels left behind. And eventually, trust in the system begins to crack. Sound familiar? That's the phase America is in right now. The U.S. dollar became the world's reserve currency after World War II, giving America unmatched global power. But over the decades, debt has exploded, money has been printed at record levels, and inflation is slowly eating away at purchasing power. According to Dalio, we're moving toward the late stage of the cycle, the breaking point. It's the stage where internal anger builds, political division grows wider, and outside forces, other nations, sense weakness and start to challenge the empire's dominance. It's the same story we saw with the Dutch Empire, the British Empire, even ancient Rome. And now, many experts believe, the United States is facing its own turning point. All right, so what exactly is pushing America toward this financial reset? According to Ray Dalio, there are three major threats, and together, they form the perfect storm. Threat number one, a policy-driven recession. For years, the U.S. has been hitting foreign countries with tariffs and trade restrictions. At first, it felt like no big deal. But here's the reality. Higher costs are piling up behind the scenes. By 2026, many companies will be forced to raise prices just to stay alive. And guess who ends up paying for it? You, the American consumer. Threat number two, falling demand for U.S. assets. For decades, foreign investors couldn't get enough of America. Our stocks, our real estate, our government bonds. That foreign money kept prices high and markets booming. But now that appetite is shrinking. If fewer global investors want to hold U.S. assets, prices could flatten or even crash. And when demand falls, it's not just Wall Street that suffers. Main Street feels the pain too. And threat number three, artificial intelligence. AI isn't just a new tech tool, it's an economic arms race. Whoever masters AI at scale will control the next chapter of global wealth. Right now, the U.S. is leading, but nations like China, India, and even smaller players like Dubai are pouring trillions into AI development. If America loses that edge, it doesn't just lose market share, it risks losing leadership in the global economy. So, tariffs and rising costs, falling investor demand, and the global AI race. Three forces, building pressure, all at once. And when they collide, the impact could shake the financial system at its core. So let's get real. What does all this mean for you, for your family, for your future? Here's the truth. Cycles like this don't just hit governments and Wall Street. They hit everyday people the hardest. Rising costs at the grocery store, a paycheck that doesn't stretch as far, home prices pushing families out of the market, retirement savings shrinking when the stock market dips. That's where the impact lands, right in your daily life. But here's the good news. You don't have to sit back and watch it happen. Dalio's message is simple. When the cycle turns, volatility rises. And volatility, for the smart and prepared, equals opportunity. So what does preparation look like? Diversification. It means not putting every dollar in one basket. Instead, balance your investments. Stocks, bonds, real estate, gold, commodities, even a small slice of crypto if you're willing to take the risk. Because when one side falls, another side can rise. And that balance, that mix, is what protects you when the storm hits. Remember, empires rise and fall, but those who adapt survive. Right now, America's national debt is over $37 trillion and climbing by the second. Leaders are already floating wild ideas. Some talk about bringing the dollar back to gold. Others whisper about backing it with crypto. And a few say, just keep printing and hope for the best. No matter what path they take, one thing is clear. The financial world you've grown up with will not look the same in the years ahead. So here's the takeaway. Stay informed, stay diversified, and don't wait until it's too late. Because the reset isn't a question of if, it's only a question of when. Now, if you're serious about protecting your money and building long-term financial security, start today. Learn, prepare, and act, because history doesn't wait and neither should you.